GRYSKLL.
What's been going on with you? How was well, you did say last night was good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah, last night was beautiful, man. We went up to a restaurant called Ginya. Just hanging out there. You know, we're not conventional, man. So we ain't doing all bended knee and all that crazy shit.
Yeah, I feel that.
I ain't gonna call it crazy, but we're not. That's just not how I rock or how we roll. It's not, she don't want any parts of that. She'd be appalled if I even tried something like that. So, you know, we already kind of went and picked out rings and all that shit and just kept it simple. She didn't even want a real, like a not real. She didn't want some fancy ass ring. She's like, no, that's not my vibe. That's not how I rock it. So,
that's good shit.
She's the most amazing woman I've ever met, G. And I'm doing whatever I gotta do to hold this shit tight.
Yeah, that's dope, man. That's dope.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man.
My wife and I, we had a pagan wedding.
I had one of my
the person who married us was he was a Sufi or some shit like that. I can't remember exactly what it was, but yeah, like he was like, we just had things from everywhere. Like it was all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like we kept it crazy. Like we made sure it wasn't religious at all. It wasn't, you know, completely unconventional.
Didn't you guys just have an anniversary?
November.
Which one was it?
2 years. We got married in 2019. So.
Congratulations, man.
Congrats, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Somehow she's still waking up every morning and giving it another go. I don't know what's wrong with her, but
it's a big deal nowadays, man.
Oh yeah, it is.
Big deal for anybody to be happy, man. I'm like, yo, I'm cheering for everybody. Fuck.
And it's amazing because I think what we thought happiness was and what I'm learning happiness really is.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, we had a discussion this past weekend because I kind of got into one of my semi-funks, you know what I'm saying? And true to herself, she did not meet me halfway. She played her cards right. And then like the next morning we kind of sat down and talked, you know what I mean? And, again, you know, she was, oh wait a minute, she here. I can't be giving her no credit. I ain't know you. When you coming?
Like, hey, baby.
You fix me something to eat.
I can make you a hot dog with candy.
I'm not eating no hot dog.
I don't understand. But yeah, man, you know, we kind of talked and you know, I realized I was getting into one of my self-sabotage moves and
yeah.
You know, yeah.
I know how it is, bro. I know how it is, man. I had one of those days last week, I think, too, man. I can't remember the details, but I can relate, man.
It's just come out the blue, man. Like, you know what I mean? It's like not even there's no prompt. It's just like, it's just out the blue. I'll be on some bullshit.
Yeah.
I kind of live it.
And you don't know where, and you can't reason your way through it sometimes, or you can see it, but it still doesn't make sense trying to reason your way out of it. I don't know. For me,
right? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's about right. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm sure it's a culmination of stuff, and that's just where it comes to the head. But you know, the person that gets it is usually not the right person.
Right.
You know what I mean? So.
Yeah,
I've said it 1,000 times before. Like she just won't meet me there. She's like, all right, yeah, go ahead. I'll holler at you when you calm down. You know? No, we're gonna argue now. You might be about to argue, but
I'm gonna be over here.
Yeah, I'm not with it. So
be fortunate, man. I don't know what's the name. It's like Yani's got it like that kung fu master that'll hit all your pressure points and just defuse everything, just relax everything on you. Yeah, if I start getting wound up, she just knows how to hit those right little pressure points to make me think a little bit. Slow down.
That's important, man. It's like I realize how important that is. You know what I'm saying? Because
yeah,
even though I think I'm better. You know, like anybody else, I still have days where I'm like, man, hell with all this.
Fuck it all.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Hell yeah, G. Definitely, man.
Yeah.
What's up, Bear?
I'm there all the time.
What's good with your peoples?
Welcome, man. How you doing, bro?
What's going on with you?
Y'all looking good with Priceless this week, man. Sorry I'm not as heavy on promo as I usually am. I'm glad to see y'all picking it up, though, man. I appreciate y'all for that, man.
Man, all we needed was for you to put it out.
Still gotta get him out to streaming if we decide we want to go to streaming. I think that's some of the stuff we want to talk about when we get to business, man. I think Demond was trying to get in, so I was trying to hope for him at least. Damn, say his name 3 times and he appears. Former demon Demond Duchan is here. Dun, dun, dun.
Peace. Can y'all hear me?
Peace. Yep, what's up, Chief?
What's going on, fella?
Not much, man. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. So far, so good. How about you? How's it going?
Can't complain, bro. I'm a happy man.
All right.
Come on, bro. Come on. Got no complaints at all.
Mm-hmm. Well done, and congratulations again.
Thank you, man. It was
That's amazing.
yeah, it was definitely not something I've expected to be doing again, but I've been thinking about it and talking about it for a long time. I'm talking myself out of it for a long time, honestly. I ain't really got no reason to be doing that, man. I know exactly what it is, man. There was no question in my heart, man.
There you go. Home is where the heart is.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah. But
going on, Q? T-Bell? Shit.
Good, fam. I'm over here struggling with the technology, so I'm going back and mute while I curse.
Like,
Right, upside down.
Yeah, I don't even know where that came from, fam. Like a second ago, it was right. I sat down and it went upside down. I don't even understand, yo.
I just figured you was doing a Far Side video, you know.
Yeah. Can't keep running away. Oh, no, that was Drop, wasn't it? That was Drop. Yeah.
Drop. Are we expecting anybody tonight?
yeah, tonight we got the counselor, Rashawnda James.
Okay.
She's met her through an NFT project that she's the wellness, one of the wellness leads on, I guess. I'll let her explain it. She can explain it better than me. But we've been going to her wellness sessions that she has every Monday and Wednesday. We've been trying to get to most of them. Yani's actually on one right now, I think, with her the Wednesday night when they do it at 8:00.
Right.
But you know, they do really dope little sessions with this little NFT project they put together. And I guess the counseling sessions are part of the project that they have in there, or the wellness sessions are part of the project. And just hearing her talk and seeing the way she rocked, I was like, yo, she'd be a great person to at least help introduce the topic from a professional on the, you know, to our audience or whatever. Just because, you know, really I'm hoping that you know, mental wellness and you know, mental health, especially in the Black communities, is one of the priorities for us to try and push. I think we all kind of agree on that, but I don't think we have it in writing. So I guess I just kind of I think we should probably write down, figure out what we want to make our main mission or our submissions and get that clear over time. But
yeah.
Either way, regardless, she's on tonight, man. She comes in at 9. I don't know what's on.
Right, you don't mean to ramble, do you?
Yeah, yes, sir. But she has a plan for the evening too. What she wanted to discuss. So I think it'll be pretty easy when she gets on. She'll probably be on autopilot for a lot of it, and you know, we probably get to. I don't know how y'all want to do it. If we want to ask questions, or if we have anything specific that you might want to ask somebody who's a counselor. I have no direction, no ideas from my end, at least.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions.
Beautiful.
I mean, because I haven't dived into anything. I've just been stacking the crypto, and my son does Bitcoin and stuff like that. So I've been building a while, but I haven't spent anything out of it.
Yeah. Now she doesn't like, as far as the NFT technology and all that, or the NFT game, she'll tell you she's not really big on or doesn't have a lot of details there. She's really here more for the counseling aspect. So there'll probably be very little talk about NFTs or that space.
Okay.
This is I think she's really more focused on I think her goal tonight, she outlined it. I think I put it in that text. I don't want to say it verbatim and or non-verbatim and fuck it up, but she'll explain. It was something about you know, trying to get us to stop suffering in silence, you know, Black men or the Black community stop suffering in silence, and trying to encourage, you know, get the conversation started about us and how we feel about counseling and all that shit, I think.
Let's go. Okay.
We're going to talk about thug tears.
Yeah. Well, as Cookbook says, all that emotional crap.
I ain't crying, B.
Right. The tears go sideways. When they don't go down, they go sideways. All right.
Yeah. So since me and Yanni been on the sessions with it, Yanni's going to jump on too, and sit in. So that's why.
All right. All right.
Guess that's why Zen gets some camera time.
Mm-hmm.
But we wanted to talk scheduling, right? We got some dope shit going on, man. We got people interested in coming to hang out, man. I'm excited about that shit, man.
Yeah, I seen you got the calendar working.
Yeah, I tried to get some of it going, man. I didn't want you really working on that, Q, man, with your eyes. When you talked about your eyes and seeing how you felt, I could see how you felt last night, man. I don't want you to do nothing to just feel better, man.
What happened? What happened? We're trying to read these screens and shit.
Nah, so I assume it's allergies. I get something every year around springtime where one of my eyes kind of just says, fuck you, I hate you. But this year I got both of my eyes telling me, fuck me, they hate me. So yeah, it's horrible. Like shit gives me headaches and everything.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
It's the only time of year that my kids see me cry.
Oh, wow.
Because I don't actually cry, but
You're right, it's just water.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I immediately got that. You can't see it coming down my eyes.
Right. Good dude. I know you love me like cooked food.
Right.
You gotta move. Yeah.
I hear people saying some Jay-Z lyrics on the line.
Been suffering with allergies for 2 months.
Nobody said we didn't know what the man said,
Yo, I don't dislike Jay-Z. I'm not anti Jay-Z. I'm not. I just don't think he's what a lot of other people think he is. But I'm not anti Jay-Z by any stretch. And again, I got Jay-Z winning the joint. I'm in the minority with that. How Priceless doing? Demond seem to be doing all right?
Oh, Priceless, it should be. I mean, I haven't checked into it, any numbers, anything, but yeah, it's doing okay. It's circulating, being shared. My man from over there in Italy shared it to his page.
Okay.
Getting a little appeal.
I got to get all the newest stuff in the folder, man, and send the link out to everybody, man. I sent it to my man EJ, but I need to get it to the Glib Styles and all those other cats as well.
Yeah.
Try to get like a couple months of stuff in there, so they had a good mix of stuff to kind of choose from. But that could also backfire if it becomes overwhelming.
Okay. I'm just trying to keep something going. I mean, races, I pushed that to the back, but maybe drop it later on or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but shit, I was trying to think about all the projects. I got like 4 projects I'm kind of working on all at the same time, and adding on to the every Monday thing. So.
Like it's funny, like how the energy kind of refocuses itself on whatever happens to be happening.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Hi.
Hello. Hey, everybody.
Welcome.
Hey, Rashawnda, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing? Sorry, I'm a few minutes late. My other space ran over.
Oh, you're fine. Yanni was on there. She's coming in just a moment here too. So she told me you guys just finished up. Well, she should be just a minute, but I guess in the meantime, I can introduce you to the fellas. This is GRYSKLL. This is a crew. I don't know how you want to describe us. Anybody want to take lead? Demond, I know you do a great job of kind of rocking this stuff. You want to kind of just introduce us?
Yeah, okay. Over there in the red corner.
The red corner.
Yeah, that's Quentin Fountain. Yeah. Fontaine. Okay, there you go. All right. We got
Pretty Ricky's what they called him. Pretty Ricky what they called him.
Right. And of course, we got T-Bear with the records behind him. GRYSKLL Bucket. The great Wonder Dial over there contemplating. We call him Batman because he's always has something brewing. You know what I'm saying? I'm Demond. And welcome. Glad you can make it.
Thank you. Well, I'm Rashawnda. I don't know how much you guys know, but I'm Rashawnda and I'm a therapist. And I'm happy to be joining this dialogue and try to contribute in any way that I can.
Yeah, I gave the crew a little bit of an introduction. I don't know if you recognize me, Rashawnda, but Did I cut you off? I'm sorry. Did I cut you off?
Oh, she's
There might be a lag a little bit.
Oh,
There we go. I couldn't hear you for a minute.
oh, I know. Okay, you hear everybody okay now?
Yeah, I hear it right now. Yeah.
Technology, we love it. Oh, okay. 1 second. I have Yani here, and then we'll get this started properly. Hold on 1 second. She doesn't want to come on camera. She doesn't want to be seen coming on camera.
We need at least an elbow.
Damn.
Yeah, we need at least an elbow.
She has to
yo.
just appear.
You know, she's responsible for so much with regard to imaging and
Yeah.
vision with us. So
Hey, Yanni.
As soon as she show up, Zen all in the face. See, that's how it go.
right away. So I gave the fellas Rashawnda, I guess, just so that you get a proper introduction. Sorry, I'm new to this, so I'm a little clumsy. You're a host. Do you want to do the host thing?
No, you got it.
Okay, well, I guess I'm gonna pretend to be a host today. So, gentlemen, today we have Rashawnda James. No, I'm kidding. On Mondays and Wednesdays, she has a wellness chat that she runs through an NFT project that we came across her through. Do you want to mention what you do with that first, Rashawnda, and then we can kind of bounce into what else you do? Or
Yeah. For that one, so what I do is I just try to create a safe space to talk about wellness, and I lead kind of the discussion of different topics every week, just depending on what the community wants. We've talked about dealing with the unknown, letting go, adding structure, dealing with fears, and so I really try to just think about just like what my clients are going through and what kind of like the community's talking about and chit-chatting about, and try to add value in any way that I can. I don't ever try to feel like I'm above anybody, but I try to just use a little bit of expertise also with being authentic to my story, and hopefully just give people like the courage to be themselves and take those steps toward healing and self-care and wellness.
she does a great job with these spaces. I mean, she last time I was in one, she gave a topic for the day, which was, do you remember what the subject was the last time I was on? No? Okay. So it was, I think I was routine. We were talking about
routines. Yep.
And she gave me a lot of tips and ideas and kind of asked some questions that made me be a little bit more accountable and kind of call myself out internally and kind of kick me in the butt to really hold myself to the fire so that I would follow through with some things, and it actually helped a lot. So her sessions have been very helpful, the ones I've attended. And Yanni's attended a few more than I have, but they're all extremely informative. And Rashawnda is very natural and real with the way she kind of goes about talking about the topics. She uses herself as an example in her real life situations too. So she's not like talking above you. She's like, yo, this is a challenge I've had in my own life. And this is what I have done or what I've had to do because of these challenges in my life. I don't want to speak for you, but that was one of the reasons why I was like, I think Rashawnda would be a really dope guest for us to have on here, because we all kind of, Rashawnda on here, we all kind of bare our souls and we kind of get vulnerable. We hold space for one another to get as vulnerable as we need to be or as comfortable as we need to be. And one of our goals is to try to make it so that these conversations are had more and more in our communities, in the hip hop community and the Black community. So another reason why I thought you would just naturally fit in with the way you kind of rock and roll. I know you had an agenda for the night though. And the fellas were all a go for just kind of jumping on your train and taking a ride with you.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm not no lecture person, so I'm gonna need y'all to be attuned and definitely make this an interactive discussion. But I think just as a whole, what I was thinking about, just like being like a group of Black men, and sometimes, y'all don't get the best rap in our community, and listen, I'll be completely honest. And so I wanted us to just start off a discussion of why you think, in our community, men and women, in the Black community, are so silent about our struggles.
All right. There you go, T.
Shit.
No, I just right to it, huh?
I know. There you go. It sounds like you're talking to you.
I'm right. I want to dive into, the discussion. I will give some preface that, I'll give a little preface. So like for myself, I grew up with a mom who was a crack cocaine addict all the way from as long as I could remember. And she became into recovery when I was about 21. And so basically most of my life, so I'm super happy for her, but it really led me to be exposed to a lot of things that I really shouldn't have been exposed to. And I oftentimes looked around and I was like, okay, y'all just really making it seem like this is so normal. Like, this is not, I know I can't be the only one thinking this. And I had nobody to really tell. My cousins was like, girl, this is just how our family is. And so the first time that I went to therapy at 17, it was, a white person that was like, oh, you don't like being touched? I was like, ma'am, why do you need to touch me? It makes my skin crawl if I think about the fact that you're gonna touch me. And she was like, that's not normal. I was like, for real? I felt like that's normal. And so going through my own journey, I was able to really conquer a lot of things, which I want to see if they're brought up, but I'll share from mine, in between intermittently. But like, I was like, it took a long time for me to just give myself permission to like say that wasn't right. And I was upset about that. And that took so much because I felt like I was going against my mom, I was going against the grain. So that's just a little preface, a little bit of my background. And as we get into discussion, I'll share a little bit, where it fits in. But I'd love to just hear like from you guys just about, why are we so silent?
Well, I can
right.
Go ahead,
okay.
No, I was gonna say, like, I think right or wrong, we're mostly wrong, but we're raised like that. You know what I mean? We're taught, especially as men, that you just eat that. You know what I mean? We had the same struggle. You just got to figure it out. You got to work through it. You know what I'm saying? And just thinking about my upbringing, I think my parents tried to break some of that, but my dad would say to this day, like, I didn't necessarily know how to parent. You know what I mean? I didn't have the best examples, so I did the best I could. And I think for my children, I've tried to understand the importance of hugs, understand the importance of telling them that I love them, understand the importance of, just being there sometimes to listen. My oldest daughter sometimes is like, let me tell you this. I'm like, I really don't want to know that, but I understand the importance. Like, I'm proud of the fact that she knows she can come to me with some of that stuff. And she also knows she has license to say, look, I don't need you to tell me anything right now. I just need you to listen. You know what I mean? And respect that. But even her, my hope for her is that if she decides to have children, she can even build upon what I've tried to give her. I've got a 4-year-old as well, and I'm trying to do even better with him. But yeah, I mean, we're as men, speaking selfishly at least, we're taught to hold that. You can't be vulnerable. Men don't cry.
Right.
So.
That vulnerable is a key word, I think, to me. Is it's you can easily be taken advantage of, and some of us have been taken advantage of by people because we've exposed or shared something personal or private about ourselves. And that, I know for me, in my experience, that's what taught me to be more guarded, was watching other people's private revelations being used as weapons against them, or being used as fodder for gossip, jokes. I was like, oh, you're not gonna, if you're laughing about this dude's personal situation and this was serious to him, this is something that hurt him, well, you're definitely not gonna know this about me. So that definitely played a big role for me.
Yeah, and then that turned into armor, and that armor just continues to get stronger, harder, thicker, depending on how you then leads to a mask. Then next thing you know, you're totally transformed into this that person that you're talking about, you know.
I about to say, yeah, you trying to beat people to the punch.
Right.
So I'm gonna get to you before you get to me.
Right.
I mean, not that I'm guilty of that, but I know people like that. No, I'm just...
no.
But nah, for real.
Yeah. I think we figured it out though. I think what you're saying, that is very true. I think that is starting to play itself out. I mean, from everybody that I see here, I just definitely have the knowledge to pass on to, you know, to correct the wrong, so to speak, that I personally speaking, that my father did. But my father came back around and he helped me out. He's a power now versus being a detriment to the family. So, and they both had their ups and downs. For me, I see it differently because both my mom and my pops had ups and downs. And so I think it is being corrected at this point. It's probably another, what do you say, probably 7-10 years, you'll see the difference of fatherhood, I think, you know?
The plan is still here.
Yeah, that's a while, right? I know. You know, but hey.
So we give you a wide enough starting point, Rashawnda, for...
Yeah, I was wondering if the red boom boom room over there was gonna say something. I thought I heard him laugh, but I ain't know. I was like, I ain't want to cut nobody off. But feel free to jump in, Quentin, if you feel the need. But yeah, I think that the things that you guys are talking about really expose a lot of what really keeps our community disconnected. And in that silence, something that, you know, I feel like is the word that we're using and we're kind of like not saying is like modeling. Like we see, like we become what we see. You know, you hear that term where it's like, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. A lot of times in our communities, like show me your parents and I'll show you your future. And in our community, you know, it's so wonderful that you guys are like, hey, I want to break these generational curses and I want to learn how to communicate and kind of see the seeds being planted, you know, but there wasn't a space. So even when you guys are talking about like people joking about like somebody's shortcomings or some of these difficulties, is because we're not taught to hold the sensitive information. We're not taught how to really say, gosh, man, and to have that empathy in those sad moments. It's really like what Kevin Hart said, like laugh at my pain. We're only really taught that we're allowed to either be angry, okay, or we have to laugh. There is no other emotion that's available, especially like Black men. You know, Black boys are always accused of being overly aggressive. And sometimes they're just bored or they're unhappy or they're embarrassed. And so when you guys are talking about trying to model that and trying to change that conversation, I would encourage you to like reach past and say, okay, am I really just sad or happy or upset? You might be disappointed. You might be, you know, embarrassed. You might be jealous, you know, so there's an array of emotions that we're just not taught in our vocabulary. Like I spend time with working with people of just showing them that, you know, there's so many emotions that aren't with us. It's like, even when they talk about testing isn't built for Black people, you know, why? Because of the language that we hear around us each and every day. So if emotions aren't talked about, it's hard to then talk about that with somebody else. Mm-hmm. So we rely on, you know, the athletics, the comedy, the dressing. First of all, Black people are super fly, y'all. I brought my earrings on, like we are super fly. Because we have to be, like, we are so creative because we don't have the words. We just don't have the words to express ourselves. So we have become amazing at expressing ourselves through music, through art, through dance, you know, through movement, so many different ways. But I think it comes from a place of being robbed of our words. I mean, we didn't even come here with our own language. So it can go very, very deep. But I think that is to say that as you guys are trying to plant that seed, it's important to really start using emotional words because it invites conversations. For your kids, for your significant others, for your friends. It's like, oh, wait, they just used that. Okay, wait a minute. This is a whole different tone, you know, instead of just like, I'm mad. Okay, everybody get mad. I'm happy. Okay, man, I was super disappointed in the way that you reacted. excuse me, you know,
Yeah.
it comes off different, you know?
Mm-hmm. That is impressive. I like when they change it up. But I like what you said, though. You know, so fashion could be as a form of not only expression, but also as a front, so to speak.
Yes, it is absolutely can be a front because, you know, when you don't have the words to express how you're feeling, you have people who become rebels. You know, they put the gauges in their ear, they put all the piercings, you know, it's a form of expression of maybe a pain that they're feeling. So they get all these piercings to be able to feel something, you know, changing. If you're depressed, right? With Black women, they talk about a Black woman who cut her hair is about to change the world because she's going through something. So even with us changing our hair is a form of expressing. Like if my hair, you know, my hair look raggedy, trust me, I'm in a funk. Period. I'm not feeling good. I may not be able to express it, but if my hair ain't done, child, it's just not there. So we have to look beyond just the surface of other ways that we have learned to express ourselves that no one has told us. You know, it's like, oh man, I'm just not feeling it. But why are you not feeling it? No one ever asked. You know, they just stop right there. Like they just stop right there. The conversation stops because we don't know how to go further. Our moms and our dads don't know how to go past, well, how was school today? If they even ask you, okay, you're keeping it real, or like, how you doing? If they even ask you, it's like, oh, I'm good. And then that's the it. That's the end of it. That's the end of it.
Yeah. Because, you know, improvement also comes with a bill sometimes. I mean, most of the time it comes with a bill. And I think a lot of times some people be like, oh, yeah, you be all right. Because you don't want to go to the doctor because you don't want to pay $50 copay. So I get that it does turn into like, hey, I'll be all right. But at the same time, you know, we can, that's pretty funny. I don't know why I'm laughing at that, but I'm thinking about somebody at the same time.
Little humor. Stay with me.
Oh yeah, I'm right there with you. But yeah, so a lot of times, some of those, even those questions, the answer to that question is a front. You know, oh, I don't feel like it. Because not feeling like it could just mean I can't afford it. And I think that, like what we're trying to do with GRYSKLL, like with NFTs and everything, like make this experience more rewarding also financially. Because finances has a lot to do with choices and has a lot to do with attitude and everything that you're talking about. Because those same dressings and piercings and tattoos, that costs money, all right? Mm-hmm. Of course it costs money. So, I mean, you're not going to save up that $30 for 2 months and go see a therapist. Do you find it difficult to get through to men versus women? Is that why you're asking?
I'm going to be honest. I am who I am. So no, I really don't. I just have to be really honest. I really don't. I think that is something powerful about that I show up each and every time as me. I can only be Rashawnda. So you catch me in session 1, you catch me in session 10, I'm still the same. Okay. And having that freedom to be who I am and to be able to create these spaces where it's like, okay, wait a minute, hold up. Who's telling you to be all right? You just ended it off with I'm all right. And it's okay not to be all right. Like, let's create this space. And so just with my personality, I would say, and also, how can I put this? Also because like you can't tell what I've been through. Mm-hmm. So I really come from some really rough beginnings. So people are shocked that they don't shock me because there's not a lot that can shock me because I done seen a whole lot. Mm-hmm. And so I come from this space of that if you're in the professional world, I can talk to you. But if you from them streets and you get it how you live, I could also talk to you in that way. Mm-hmm. So I don't really have a problem because people can come in and be who they are. They don't have to code switch. They don't have to change up. They can cuss. They can be themselves. They don't have to like explain certain things that they don't think that I understand. If I don't understand, I'll be like, listen, I don't know what you're talking about, but give me till next session and I will figure it out. Mm-hmm. You know, so I think that level of just my humble beginnings helps me not be a step behind. Whereas for other people, you know, it's a wall that they got to break down. Like when you have a mom who on drugs, child, you just a whole different person. You just are, I'm gonna be honest, I'm just a whole different person. Other people won't get it, but people who have parents who are on drugs get it. I'm for real. I'm so serious. It's a different, they breed different kids. They just do. But I think that going back to your point, that I think now the conversation is a lot easier because they're not only thinking white people when they hear therapy.
Yeah.
They're not thinking that, oh, this person finna snitch on my family. They're not thinking that this person finna put me in a hospital. So a lot of the fears that were there before are slowly going away, because now you don't automatically have to see a white person. You can see a Black therapist. Like, that's the thing now, whereas before it really wasn't. It really wasn't. It was like, oh, they attribute therapists and doctors the same. White people that want to take your money and probably want to see you die. I mean,
my experience.
I ain't need to take it all the way there, but
that sounds like a song I just heard.
That's how I felt after my last experience. Honestly, I felt like the doctor could care less. I felt like the counselor could care less. I felt like I was just a bill.
Yeah,
and they pretty much showed it when my insurance didn't pay the bill quickly enough. They were a lot more responsive than they were when I was talking about my feelings and what I was going through. So
exactly.
They were persistent about reaching out then.
The rate at which we die is the rate at which we die for the same diseases as other people in other cultures is absolutely just disrespectful at this point, because it's just the lack of care. It's like on both fold, like with what, you guys are talking about, where it's like, we have no choice but to be all right, either for financial reasons or from fear of going to the doctor, that's been embedded in us for a long time. Our parents didn't go to the doctor. Our parents' didn't go to the doctor. They like, well, I'm all right. I'm still here. So obviously I don't need to go to the doctor. So there's that lens. And then from the other lens, they see us as, I don't want to go too deep, but basically the us being bred to endure pain, to endure suffering, stops them all the time from seeing us as true individuals, to see us as people who bleed, to see people who are in pain, so when you have one side that doesn't like to talk about pain because they're not used to it, and you have the other side who's like, oh, they're not really in trouble, they don't see them as being in pain, you get bad care. You just do.
Yeah, they ain't think it hurt. Yeah, they don't think it hurts. It's superhuman to them.
Okay.
Hey, that ain't right. You bringing up them copays to mind, man. My wife doing her doctor visits now, and I gotta pull out that wallet every 2 weeks, man. Them shits is hurting.
Right, that copay, it'll change your grocery.
Yeah. But I do appreciate a few words that you said. I appreciate you brought up generational curses. And I appreciate you talking about we not all right. And when I'm saying we, I'm saying me and my wife, because we didn't been with each other since forever. But anyway, the 30s was terrible. We didn't discuss this a few shows back. The 30s was horrible.
You was around in the 30s?
I think he's talking about
I'm talking about age 30s, not 1930s. Age 30s. I know we great. Don't get the great twisted. We ain't that damn old.
I was about to say you look real young, because when you say the 30s, I was like, I was trying to.
What are you doing?
In the 60s, maybe he mean the 70s.
No. I'm talking about the age 30s. The age 30s is when we was trying to figure out why the fuck are we so damn mad? Because we did a lot of fighting with each other and fought with every damn body else. We're trying to figure out why the hell you so damn mad. And we don't like talking about we don't like getting too deep in spirituality and stuff around here, which is cool. But one of the we had started listening to other people, and on one of the persons we was listening to was Joyce Myers, and she brought up that stop telling yourself and telling everybody else that you okay because you ain't okay. It's something wrong with you. I mean, legitimate. You got your issues. You upset about something. We call it feel some type of way, but that's a blanket term, But stop telling people that you okay when you not. And then on the flip side of that, I don't remember where I heard breaking generational curses, but yeah, we've been real adamant on that, especially like with our children. Instead of letting them figure shit out for themselves, we try to at least take the little bit of knowledge. I don't know everything. My wife don't know everything, but I'm trying to give you everything I know, so you at least have that as a jumping off point, instead of you just be out there blind. Because we did the blind thing and it ain't turned out that hot. Yeah, I made it, but it could have been better. I see things in my life. I was just talking to my son today. I definitely seen paths that I could have took that would have been so much better had somebody told me the little bit that they knew off jump.
Straight up. Damn. Right.
Yeah, just the little bit of knowledge that they knew off jump could have sent me in a different path, and I'd have been so much ahead, so much further ahead than I am now. So breaking generational curses is very, very important. And I don't think people even understand what generational curses is, but it is what it is. Just because your pops was a bum don't mean you got to be a bum. And that's the curse.
Right.
Because your mom's was an alcoholic don't mean you got to be an alcoholic. Don't nobody like talking about that shit.
But you know what, T? It be overemphasized here in Chicago a little bit more, because most of the cats' pops is gangsters, which get you a certain type of credibility sideways. So the kid kind of want to be sideways too. But that's tough. You know what I'm saying? It's still is that manly, horrible, hard trait that people tend to pick up. You know what I'm saying?
I know exactly what you're saying.
Right. We
don't want to be different.
Right. You don't want to be different. You do not want to be different.
Different stands out, and different is a target.
Right. Yeah. Right. Exactly.
I want to add to that, because when you think about because I've known some people who've been in the gang. Like my mama fought underground in her day, and so when she talks about it, and when I've heard from other people that it's not necessarily like the street cred, we call it the street cred, but it's also a sense of safety. That your home life may not be a sense of safety. But if you got these people and you walking down the street, you walk a little bit taller if you know that you got people who gonna back you up. So that street cred gives you a certain level of protection that you may not have otherwise. And you don't want to walk blindly across the street. When you go into the school, nobody wants to be the person that don't know nobody. So having those titles, right, are so important in our community. Whereas white people, they don't seek the street cred. They seek the CEO, okay? They seek that. That is what they seek as their sense of protection. They seek money as protection. And unfortunately, the generational curse, I'm gonna say what you said, T-Bear, is that for us, it's the mindset that the only way for us to get protection is these hands. You can get these hands, that's my only protection. But we have so many other ways of protecting ourselves. We just don't know. It's you either gonna fight your way out, or you got to be a basketball or a football player. That's the only outs that we're ever taught. So when you're talking about just having that little bit of information, you're talking about access. It's access that we're constantly denied mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. I know I just heard that we don't talk about spiritually, but there's a lot of points of entry that we're just denied. So if you think about the 100-meter line, I was a track runner in my day, but they starting at the line and we starting way back there. And we just trying to inch our way just to get to the starting line. And then it becomes those crabs in a barrel, where if I made it out, okay, I don't want nobody to know because I don't know if they gonna come for me. So I done made it out. I'm just thanking God, and pew, I'm gone. I can't look back because I'm gonna get pulled back into the fold. When the mindset really should be is that let me take more with me. But we're afraid of each other. We're conditioned to actually like meet each other and then become afraid of each other. Such a difficult thing.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing. You gotta look past that.
Yeah, trying to change the narrative, like really trying to change the narrative. I think that the most powerful tool when I work with individuals is for them to become, aligned with their self. And the way to do that is to identify and be aware. Listen, if I want to eat those donuts, I'm gonna eat those donuts. I'm not gonna play victim. I'm not gonna be scared. I'm not gonna be like, oh, why do I feel sick? No, I'm walking in awareness. If I cuss somebody out, I'm not gonna be shocked if they cuss back at me or they ready to fight because I'm walking in awareness. Now I don't do the fighting. I'm be honest, I don't do the fighting. I call my mama. Okay, I don't do that. I don't do that. I don't look good in orange, but my mama been there, did that. Mm-hmm. She ready for it all. So it's important to just know for yourself where your weaknesses are and where your strengths are. So when you're trying to break generational curses and when you're trying to work on and start that seed, become aligned with yourself. Like, I am awesome with talking. Like, I'm awesome with listening. That is like my superpower. That's why I love what I do. But if you lie to me, I don't know who you finna get. I just really don't know who you finna get. It's just not within my strong suit. I also cut people off, like with the quickness, won't even think twice about you. It's almost scary. People be like, it's kind of scary the way you cut people off. Yes. Mm-hmm. It's a weakness, it is a weakness. So when I'm communicating with my kids and when you're starting that dialogue, don't be afraid for them to know your shortcomings. Don't brag about slanging, you know what I'm saying? But like, let them know that I made these choices out of survival, right? But I want you to thrive. There's a difference. When you said, T-Bear, like, we made it, yeah, you survived, but you deserve so much more than just surviving in life. Your kids deserve so much more than just surviving. So we have to like learn how to thrive and what that looks like. Mm-hmm. So I want to ask, like, what does thriving look like for you guys?
I think doing what you love, being who you are, like who you really are, not conforming for the sake of, what you do to make money or to be accepted in different social circles. To me, that's a great starting point for thriving.
Oh, love that.
I think, like I kind of told my daughter, like, I almost look at it as like success, right? You have to define it. Me telling you what success looks like is unfair to you because that's my idea. So if you want to have 10 roommates, so that you only pay $20 a month in rent, but then you could travel every week, if that's how you define success, then you made it. Like, and I can't be mad at that, but I think you as an individual have to kind of define it. I think thriving is the same way. I remember having a discussion with my father and he's like, oh my goodness, you work for them? Man, everybody wanted to work for them. I'm like, I hate it. Mm-hmm. But again, in his mind, I know probably about it. I made it, but to me, I'm like, if I had it to do all over again, I don't know that this is the path I would have taken. I'm not complaining, but I'm also being honest with myself, right? Like, now I do things on the side to kind of supplement and give me that sense of fulfillment. But, I definitely didn't want my daughter or my young, like, that's not the path I want to send them down. I want them to kind of define the path because, again, success could be very, very easy to achieve if your expectations are properly aligned. And then you don't have all the stresses of, trying to meet this expectation and that expectation. So I think thriving is up to the individual.
Mm-hmm. Success is the process. you're looking at success. I think in each of these boxes, to get to this point, like T said, survival, even though that might have been a goal, he's reached that goal. We've reached that goal. I think we're at the point of survival where we're at the point where we can also start utilizing intellectual properties and things that flow from our minds instead of like working so hard toward it. What was I thinking about? Why is everybody veer away from spiritual? Are we saying we staying away from spiritual?
No, I'm not saying we staying away from it. I just know we usually don't talk about it. Right. And I only said that because of, and that's another thing, since we talking about Black community and being in spaces, you know, we all got our different opinions.
Oh yeah, right.
On you know, we got Christianity, we got Muslim folks, and then we got, well, I'm just spiritual. And that's a battle that I prefer not to get into with anybody up in here, because I love y'all. You know, I don't want to get into that battle. I done been through them battles already. And then, you know, and after I done lived long enough, I'm not so, I think it's easier to stand on the spiritual side than it is to stand on any religion. And you know, and I like to tread lightly in there because it causes too much shit. But I'm
a Roman Catholic and all that stuff. But go ahead, Shea, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Nah, I again, similarly, that was an interesting discussion in my house coming up, right? And as I got older, you know, I had a pastor one day ask me when I was coming back to the church. I said, when I get there, you know, and we got into this discussion, and like, I'm just asking him some what I thought were pretty straightforward and simple questions, and he really didn't have the answers that would generally get him out of those discussions weren't really working. Mm-hmm. I was challenging him, and that kind of goes against the grain in a lot of churches, you know what I mean? And it kind of ended with me being self-righteous. I'm like, if you say so, okay, but only because I'm supposed to listen to you. And I think he hung up on me after that. But my point, you know, my point was, you know, I could come to your church and sit in there and praise and shout all day. If I leave your church and go do the same stuff that I'm not supposed to be doing, your church didn't help me. And I also don't believe that not going to your church but living as well as possible makes somebody worse because they didn't get what you think is supposed to feed them. So I think I'm kind of on the same side as Bear there. You know what I mean? I think people are people, yo. I want you to be right by me like you would want me to do right by you. I don't care if you got to go to church to get that, cool. If it's just innately in you, cool. But you know, I don't think I believe in a higher power, but I don't necessarily believe that church makes you a good person. There's too many examples of where it doesn't.
Right.
All right.
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question, Damon, because I was going to ask the same thing, like why we stay away from it. Because I guess we never made the agreement verbally here, but
yeah, that's what I was getting
about this space. I think I trust all of us to kind of respect one another enough not to try to impose any, you know, ideologies or anything on one another. I think we've done pretty good on that anyway. We kind of get to the point where we have a disagreement. We kind of skirt around and we talk about what we got to talk about, and then we kind of move on. We find the area of the conversation where there's some meat and get up out of there. But yeah, I don't want any of y'all to ever feel like you can't talk about spirituality or even religion with me. I don't have a dog in any of that fight anymore. I used to be very adamant about my views, and I end up realizing how much I was wrong about so much of everything else. I said I have no right to impose any thoughts on anybody ever again.
Oh man, yep.
Y'all should all feel free to tell me whatever your ideologies or whatever your thoughts are in any conversation. Trust me, you're not gonna get any judgment coming back from me, no pushback. I just want to say that in the space so you know.
Here's how off I was. I thought Bear was talking about his house when he said that. I didn't even realize he was talking about GRYSKLL or this space. I thought you were talking about, you know, as far as your house and your family under the roof and extended. I didn't realize you were talking about, you know, this space when you were saying that.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of them tread lightly's everywhere though.
Yeah.
You know, and like I said, it's only because of the views that I have now. It's almost like, man, so it's almost like, you know, Wizard of Oz, when Dorothy chasing Toto and you go behind and pull the curtain back and you like, oh, that ain't what I thought I was gonna see, you know. So now you got that.
Yeah.
So now you got to think about all of that stuff that you believed in, you know. Do we still need to hang on to that, or do we need to think about things differently? And then, you know, you couple stuff up with, you know, we start talking about slave Bibles and what have you. I mean, things start getting real shady and deep here. So
we're probably in more agreement than you think, then, brother.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure, just based off of the separate conversations from the different boxes, I think everybody's kind of in the same boat. But when moms come through the crib, we praising the Lord, and we just gonna keep it moving.
Yeah,
because I'm not going there with moms and them. That's too much. You know,
it's
let them hold
to
on to what they
the
believe in.
right.
You know, it's too much.
Right. And their beliefs as an adult aren't really harming me.
Right.
We could argue about when I was younger, but you know, my mom is, I call my mom a super Christian. Like, you know what I mean? She's in it. Yeah, she's
Flanders, man. We all know how it go.
She's in it. And I have to be honest with myself. Like, if that my mom's got a medical story like that is just mind-boggling. So if her belief gives her the strength to get up every morning, it's not my place to take that or try to take that or to try to convince her that it's not real. Right. You know, because I also don't know. You know what I mean? So, but I think as I look at things and start to process differently, I've got the blind faith thing just doesn't work for me any longer. So.
Okay, so that's where you at.
I've been an atheist since middle school. So,
yeah, here we go. Rashawn, the top 3 MCs. Let's go.
Go change the subject.
Missy Elliott. I like Missy Elliott is one of my favorite MCs. But yeah, I mean, spirituality is something, you know, it's good to me have the conversations because we come from all different walks of life and our experiences make up differently. You know, in college I studied, you know, I took a whole course on religions and spirituality because I was very intrigued. I had only been exposed to Christianity, but there's just, when you see a lot, you got a lot of questions, you know? For me, I think that even when I moved to Atlanta, you know, it went to another level again because I had never met Black Jews. And in Atlanta, there's a lot of Black Jews. And so again, my experience, you know, grew, you know, and evolved. So I've been to a lot of different things. I did find my way in my own calling, in my own spiritual belief. I am a believer, you know, but I think that the journey is different for everybody and the experiences are different for everybody. But I think that at the core, what I've come to recognize is that we're humans, you know, each and every person, each and every believer, whatever you believe in, or you don't believe in anything, you are intrinsically you. And you show up every day and you make choices every day, unless you feel like we're in the Matrix, but that's a whole nother story. But, you know, you make choices every day. And when you make those choices, they are a representation of you. And I like to separate. I like to be very intentional about separating the individual from what they believe, you know, because there are some people with some with different beliefs, but they are amazing individuals, like super amazing individuals. Mm-hmm. And then I have come across people who are diehard and some real messed up people have done some real trifling things, you know, that I'm like, all right, I never want to meet you again, you know.
But if you let them tell it, all they got to do is show up Sunday and ask for forgiveness, and it's all good.
You know, you know, it's a very difficult thing. I've seen, you know, firsthand how people sometimes never recover. So, you know, growing up, I knew that my paternal grandfather killed my grandmother in front of my mom and them. And honestly, none of them ain't right at all, you know, and to hear that their mother, you know, really ingrained in them to forgive him, and that created a strife. And so it's just so many different things. So I have seen a lot of healing, and I have seen a lot of suffering, and embedded in that is different beliefs. So for me, I really tried to say, okay, that is your belief, but what's your actions say? You know, like what your actions say. So I think for me, I'm not from, was it Chi-Town or whatever that place, St. Louis, whatever, but I'm from the show me state. I'm from Florida, but I'm from the show me state. Oh, there it is. So what you show me is what I'm going to believe, because this is a whole lot of this, but I'm trying to see how you shake and move. Okay. That's what I want to see.
So I think we all kind of saying the same thing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's a process. Even religion is a process. Right.
I think it's becoming more and more common in society today, especially in our culture. I think more and more of us are starting to see things differently than our parents saw it, and starting to ask some questions, and we're not feeling as guilty about asking the questions or about choosing to do differently. And I think that's part of what's helping us be able to get to the point that we can do things like this, have these conversations, because a lot of the times these conversations around mental wellness and mental health would kind of tread upon some of those subjects that were forbidden to talk about through, I guess I'm just going to say it. I was trying to find a pretty way to say it. The church.
Yeah.
So, you know, I think, you know, the fact that we're open to more and more ideas outside of just what's taught through the book and through, you know, those institutions is kind of helping us open our eyes and find more ways to kind of help ourselves. And I appreciate the fact that we have spaces. I mean, I'm glad that we could have this conversation here tonight, and that we can kind of see that, you know, we don't have to stay away from this conversation. I think anytime we feel like there's a conversation we think we need to stay away from, I think that's when we need to confront the conversation and really bring that conversation up in here. I think this is the space, and we got the squad that can really do that, have these conversations without damaging ourselves or each other. And I think we can come out on the other side and do something for ourselves and for our community as a whole if we keep confronting conversations like this, because look how easy this was, man.
Yeah.
One thing Damon said, you know, you said it about the Hip Hop Digest show, but it stuck with me when you told Irv, like, you know, they were really showing Black men that it was okay to disagree and still be cool on the back end. And you know, I think this is kind of similar. Like, you know, the past couple of years have really shown how polarized people can be, right? And each day that passes, you get almost forced to make a decision. You're either on the left or the right side of the line. You know what I mean? Jab, no jab. Like, there's no middle ground. There's no room for people to just be unsure or make their own decision. Like, you either with me or against me. And that, I just don't think it's that simple. You Trump or you don't. You know, if you ride with Trump, I hate you. If you don't, you know, you're cool. It's not that simple. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, so.
It's not that simple. It really isn't.
And that's a great reason for why we have the name for what we do on the side on our little sessions too, GRYSpace. This isn't a black and white world. We we kind of live, reality really is a gray space. There's no rule is absolute. And I think the more and more we understand that and respect that, the easier it all gets, man.
Absolutely. Are there, so I can keep the dialogue going, but are there any questions, that you guys have about anything that we talked about, or how you want the conversation to go? For me, just how I wanted to, end it would be just talking about just some healthy ways to communicate, and like what we can do to continue to progress and like take care of ourselves and love on the people around us more. So, but before I go there, I wanted to see if there were any questions that you guys had.
I'm good.
I think I'm good, but I'm in for that healthy discussion piece, because I literally was just talking about that earlier. Like, I almost lost it Saturday. So I'm here for that.
Why everybody acting like we didn't hear Q say he's atheist? Is that
say what?
Oh no,
he said it since he was in middle school. Nobody didn't say nothing. So.
Well,
since middle school.
I just don't think we flinched, because
you and I. I've heard that before. So we kind of had that discussion the first time we met. So
since middle school adds some weight to it. Since middle school adds some weight to it, I think.
I've been since before then, probably for myself too. I was never labeled as an atheist.
Yeah, I was raised not atheist. My dad was an atheist. My mother was a Baptist, whatever. I went to church regularly. You know what I'm saying? But it just never jived with me. I did Sunday school, all that, and I asked too many questions. I asked a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. Things didn't add up. I had questions. You don't question the Lord or whatever, response they had. I was like, all right, found me, and I found my own way. My dad did not teach me the ways of the atheist. He just said he was, and went about his ways. You got to find out for yourself. So he sent me to church. He was like, yeah, go with your grandmother, do whatever you got to do. I found my own way, and I was like, yeah, this is it for me. So.
And I think that's two great examples, though, of what we were saying. Like, your beliefs or lack thereof never really mattered. You know what I'm saying? And Shad, kind of going to you as well. Like, it was about who you were, from what I could see in our interactions, that mattered to me. I know people that could quote the Bible forwards, backwards, or start in the middle and send you whichever way you want to go. I wouldn't give my car keys to them. Seriously. You know what I mean? So,
who shot somebody in front of me. So,
Let's go. That is hella interesting. But it's kind of like what you said when you mentioned your mom. You said it's great that she's at this point. You start off at a good point, and I think that's what we're trying to get people to look at things differently. Like even I think the crab in a bucket analogy is funny, because at some point you will want those crabs to like push the king crab to the front instead of like trying to pull down. But most of the time they're all trying to get out at the same time. Mm-hmm. So they're not really pulling you down. It's our perception of it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, they're trying to get out too. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, you don't fight, but your mom does. So you would call your mom, same way I would call my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Let him get his hands dirty because he's already dirty. So while we're making our transfer, right? Okay, I'm calling T. Right. So we can't forget them though. You know what I'm saying? Because they're still on the team, and sometimes we can shoot past them, and then they do really become that crab in the bucket. Okay, you're not getting too far away from the hood, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to make sure that you're, like you said, pulling more people along and giving them things to do. Go ahead, kid.
I've always had an issue with the crabs in the barrel, crabs in the bucket thing, because for multiple reasons. One, my dad's from Baltimore, So I did a whole lot of crabbing back in the day. It was like a hobby. Like every weekend, wake up early, go crabbing.
Okay.
You know? So I have a little bit of experience about how the whole crab situation works out, which is why there's a little bit of pushback in my mind. So one, it's not they're trying to get out of an unnatural environment. You know, it's not their natural environment. So naturally they're trying to break out of it, you know, but what we also don't acknowledge is the fact that if that one crab gets to the top of that barrel, the other crabs latch on and a bunch of them drop out. I know this from chasing bitches around and, you know, getting snipped up. You know, so they're actually like, it's a chain reaction effect that happens. One gets out, a bunch gets out. You know what I'm saying? So it's actually, to me, it's like a crab in a barrel is kind of a you know, it could be a good thing for a group of people. Crab. There's going to be some unlucky ones, of course, you know, and those crabs can't get back up the counter and help the other ones out if they don't know how to get a ladder and all that other, you know, it's like they're a little, so I just have a little bit of pushback with it. I like that. It's a natural thing for them to try and get out. I mean, same for us, like a lot of us, it's natural for us to want to get out. If we know that we're not being challenged in our environment, we need something more. We know that, you know, there's only death down that street. Why am I going to walk down that street? You know what I'm saying? So it's natural for us to want to get out as well. We do have the option, of course, to go back. A lot of us are like, nah, I'm not going back, fuck them, you know, but a great many of us actually do go back and put in where, you know, whatever money we have or what have you. You know, it happens. So I just feel like, I think we had this conversation last week, like, I think it's a change. We need to change the way that we think about some of these things, like add a little bit more nuance to it, and it helps everybody in the process.
Right. Yeah. So
anyway,
I think the biggest thing is, I agree. We'll try to find another term besides crab in a barrel. But
now you can keep the term, just
but no, seriously. I mean,
yeah,
you know,
1,000 T. Yes.
Yeah, we probably need to change it because just like how you just told us that a bit of information is somebody a few steps ahead that's gonna bring that point up that you just said. They're gonna bring it up just to shove it all in our face, just to say that you wrong, and it's gonna completely blow whatever point you was trying to make. You know, there's somebody out there that's just that damn petty. I deal in pettiness, so I know. But anyway, I think the biggest issue is what I've been fighting living in this damn house for the past damn near 20 years is that I don't think it's so much that we need to get out the hood as much as we need to teach the hood one simple word: care. If all the biggest issue we have, the biggest issue I got with my people, let me stop speaking French. So, you know what I'm saying? But before y'all don't feel like I feel, problem I got is I own my house. Well, I got a mortgage, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'm an owner. I'm not a renter. Now, what happens is all the people that worked and busted their ass in factory jobs and every damn thing else to own these houses, they went to work every damn day, didn't take care of their kids. They left the houses to the kids. The kids was ungrateful, didn't care, let it go to shit. Then lost the house to back taxes. Somebody came in, usually a white dude or somebody else, bought the house for taxes, slapped some paint on the wall, and rented it out to who?
Section 8.
Section 8. So you get Section 8ers in who came from the projects that just got tore down a couple years ago, you know, and ain't never took care of shit but toothbrushing the scuff marks off their Jordans.
All right.
It's the farthest they never took care of shit, and they know how to put some creases in their pants, maybe. Now you got them in a house. They don't know what the fuck to do with grass. They lived in the projects, had concrete play yards. Grass go to shit. They kick the damn doors in all the damn time. So the screen doors is hanging off by one hinge. They let light fixtures fall off. They got dirt and shit all on the walls. They don't do a damn thing. And they feel like you don't need to do a damn thing. And they tired of looking at the ugliness inside. So they go stand outside. And they invite other people to go stand outside to be a damn nuisance. When all they gotta do is care.
But it's
You
not
see me
that
cut
easy.
my grass, you cut your grass.
I think it's beyond care too. I think it's an understanding, and I think it also goes back to access. And if you didn't have access to that awareness, to have that understanding, I think that line tangents all the way back to how can you care if you didn't have the access and the awareness to understand why you should, or that there is a need to care.
There you go.
Or how to care. What caring?
Or
even
how to
mean?
care. And it goes back to the conversation we having now. You ain't okay. I just had this conversation with my son literally a few hours ago. We don't know every damn thing. You don't know everything. What's wrong with just asking somebody, how do I do it?
Yeah.
See, our people ask for you to do it. They don't ask, how can they do it they damn self? What do they always say? You know, about the fisherman, teach a man how to fish. I can't remember the damn saying. Y'all know the saying.
Yeah.
All right.
Teach the damn person to fish. You see a little boy, you see somebody out there struggling. Teach them how to cut the damn grass. Teach them how to trim the hedges. You know, teach them how your screen door ain't missing but one screw. Teach them where to go to the damn hardware store, how to find the screw and put it in.
I think that's where community gets involved too. There has to be people who are willing to do that part.
Right.
And
they won't do it because of what we talked about an hour ago.
Yeah, you
we
got
talk
to be
afraid of our own people.
I'm going to say you got to be willing to have the discussion, and then the other party has to be receptive.
Right.
I think about my father, who was very adamant that if my children are doing something wrong, you can let me know and I'll handle it. But I'm killing everybody to even act like they want to put their hands on them, right? And while I appreciate that, and I think that was the right way, and I feel the same way, by the way, it does kind of lend itself to, well, where is that line? You know what I mean? Dag, Damon, you know, your yard is a little messy, man. I wish we get them broke down cars out the back. Right. I'm not gonna tell Damon that, even though I know it's impacting my property value. But yeah, I don't know who Damon. You know, and like you said, kind of the fear of each other.
Yeah, it's a way to do it. It's a way to say it, and sometimes you just gotta fight with people because I done fought. Y'all gonna hate me on my, but I keep telling y'all, I don't live with these niggas. These niggas gotta live with me. So.
I have heard you say that before.
You not sitting in front of my house playing your music loud. That shit ain't happening. You ain't sitting in front of my house smoking no weed. You ain't sitting in front of my house drinking. You ain't doing that shit. You gonna have a problem with me. I'm going to come out and talk to you in your face.
That's right.
You know, and it don't have to be a confrontation. I'm just gonna ask you to move along. I'm not going to tell you doing anything wrong. I'm just going to ask you to move along. You know, I've had issues when we first moved out here. We had some cats, had some box Chevys, decided they wanted to screech tires up and down the block. And I had to stop, dude. Yo, why is you making all this noise? He talking about, man, I'm out here just trying to stunt. I'm like, stunting for who? Only thing you doing is waking my damn son up who trying to get a nap. You know? And we conversated about it. And he had to dap me up and show me respect because I had the balls to come approach him like a damn man. I'm supposed to be scared because he walking around here gangbanging and what have you. And being a nuisance for no goddamn reason. Besides showing off for niggas that ain't even looking at them.
So I'm sorry to cut in. So I'm gonna something we about to talk about is boundaries, but one of my boundaries is I'm gonna shut it down like by 10:30. So I wanted to make sure that like I gave you guys some tidbits of things that you guys could take away. But I did want to just kind of share that, you know, I definitely understand the analogy. I think one thing that I would add is that that we also have to be mindful and be aware that some people don't want to get out. Some people are okay being where they are and are very complacent, and that can rub off on you, and those people can sabotage your journey and your growth. And you have to be aware of that. So I'm all for another analogy, but I also know that there are people who are envious and don't want to leave, and they don't want you to leave them because they are comfortable and they enjoy you. They just don't have aspirations. You know, I think there are a lot of people that want to get out, a lot of people that want to change, but there are a lot of people that are very happy and cool kicking it in the projects that are super duper happy. You know, they are just very, very happy. And you just have people that don't like change. It's natural for people not to like change. And so if you are moving in a path that will change, oh man, you sure you want to do that? You know, oh, I would never do that. Man, last person that tried that failed. Man, you know, why you know, so you have to be careful of the insert for people who are afraid of change and will then project that onto you. So I'm going to use that to like segue into one of the ways is to set boundaries, you know, that we are kind of taught from early age, like if you ain't like that uncle or you ain't like that cousin, you were kind of like forced to be around them. When it's like, well, if I don't like them or they don't treat me right, or they said something to hurt me, why am I constantly forced to be around somebody who is not kind to me? I don't care if they are my grandma or my cousin or whoever. We are taught that we need to bypass our instincts and what we're comfortable with for the sake of family, for the sake of everybody else getting along. And so being mindful that if somebody is not comfortable, that they should not be forced to, you know, to speak to somebody or to interact with somebody who has hurt them. Sometimes an apology is not enough. And so when we're raising our children, being mindful that by you forcing your child to be around somebody who has hurt them, you are then telling them that when their significant other hurts them, that they should forgive them and stay with them. You are telling them that if somebody is taking advantage of them, that they have to stay there. That's how people get trapped in jobs. That's how people get trapped in abusive relationships, because boundaries are constantly broken in their childhood. And then they repeat that cycle as an adult. So that's one way, is to be able to recognize that boundaries are okay. Boundaries are necessary. And it doesn't go with only just setting boundaries with other people, but we have to be mindful of the boundaries that we need to set with ourselves. If you know that you go off about certain things while you're doing your inner work, don't put yourself in that situation. For myself, I know that for the first time in a year, I've been able to wake up 2 days straight at 6 a.m. I'm not a morning person. I struggle with it, you know, and I have a lot of things going on. I'm a mom of 3, I'm a wife, you know, and I'm an entrepreneur and all these things. And so if I don't have the space, I'm not able to wake up. And I've been intentional about creating that space and setting boundaries with myself. And that has allowed me to wake up these past 2 days. So here I am, even though I'm enjoying this discussion, you know, I have to keep that boundary for myself, because I can't always rely on somebody else to set it. You have to have that awareness to know that you need to set boundaries with yourself. That can be what you eat. That can be how you move. That can be how you talk to people. If you know you going off, you can't take back words. Once they heard it, they heard it. They may forgive you, but it's registered. It is done damage. You know, there are levels to the damage, but it's there. You know, I remember lots of things, you know, that people have said to me and had to do a lot of inner work. I've gone to therapy several times for things, but it's to say that cut yourself off. Set that boundary with your words. Remove yourself. Set your boundary where, you know what, this is going to a place. Let me just remove myself and I come back. Let's table this conversation. So there are many ways for you to set boundaries with yourself. You just have to be aware. And if you're not aware, create that awareness. Create that. And then give permission to also validate those boundaries that you're trying to set. Don't be stingy and be like, okay, in secret, I'm kind of working on this. No, tell them that I'm working on not going off. If you catch me going off, I give you permission to say, hey, this is something that you're working on. Now, if I go off on you, I got to take that up with me, but I'm giving you permission. But you have to know that you have to set that boundary with yourself. And that when you overstep that boundary, that you're not only doing damage to yourself, but you're creating more generational curses with the way you speak, the way you treat people, the way you handle situations. They're watching, just like you watch your parents, friends, family, children, they're watching you. So if you don't make time to rest, guess what? They're not going to make time to rest. If you don't make time to travel, guess what? They're not going to make time to travel. If you don't make time to love yourself, whether that's massages, grooming, kicking it, whatever the case is, they're not going to do it either. So recognize that boundaries and modeling are so important. If you've come to this period and you're like, well, I know a little bit of this makes me happy, a little bit of this, don't be afraid to discover, try new things. I think that that's something that the Black community really, really struggles with, is trying new things. We will try new things with art, music, dance, super creative. But we do not try new things with traveling, with joy, And you have to step outside of your comfort zone in order to just notice, like, oh my gosh, wait, I never would have thought this made me happy. I went indoor rock climbing because I ain't doing that outside stuff. Now that's a boundary. But I will indoor rock climb. And I found myself like, oh my gosh, like I never would have did this. I used to say in my 20s, like, I want to do what the white people do. They just seem to be living their best life. I want to do what they're doing because you know what? But I had to put that verbiage to say, it's not that they are living their best life. They're just not afraid to discover and explore. And we are. We're afraid to leave our environments. We are afraid to leave our habitats. Now, I'm not saying that we shouldn't be afraid because, listen, I am licensed to carry because, it gets real out here. What I'm saying is that don't be afraid to discover. Don't be afraid to explore. I want to try a pottery class, because I'm just like, ever since I seen that movie with Whoopi Goldberg and that ghost or something, and they in that pottery class, I was like, Lord, I feel like I want to do that, And so just saying, go on Groupon, go on Living Social, look at all the different activities and just see, you will notice so many things that I never thought. And I'm like, this exists? I never would have thought this exists. Like those little hot air, make a bubble crystal things. Like there are so many things. I learned how to make candles. I went to a candle making class. So we are awesome in our own right. But I challenge you guys to really start making a bucket list for yourselves of things that you were like, oh, that's for white people. Or, oh, I'll never get to do that. Like for real, like but make a list. Before I leave Atlanta, I'm going to go to a soccer game. Never been to a soccer game. I'm going to go to a hockey game. Never been to a hockey game. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to I'm going to try everything in this area and just see. I might not never go to a hockey game because I don't really like the cold, but I'm going to at least say I experienced it. I'm not going to
enjoy hockey. You'll enjoy hockey. Hockey is way better in person than it is on television.
Well, see, I didn't even watch it on television, but I'm just saying I'm going to experience. I'm not going to rob myself or my kids. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to rob my kids of an experience because I may not like it, but my kids may love it. I never got into soccer, and my 7-year-old is in the professional development. He out there getting it, but it's because I exposed him to it. I didn't only say, yeah, you black little boy, you going to only do football and basketball. he out there killing it in soccer, and they get paid way more money. Just like baseball. I'm like, the next sport he get into is baseball. They get paid way more money than basketball and football. But it's about exposing. So expose yourself so that then you can expose your friends, expose your family members. So that's just like some easy ways. So bucket list, really set boundaries for yourself, and really just work on communicating. You know, those are really healthy ways that you can do. So if you don't know, or you're struggling with something, or you want to learn something, throw it out there. Don't be afraid that somebody's going to laugh at you because you want to go rock climbing, or you want to do this 5K. I told people I want to do a 5K. They said, why? I don't know why. I just want to do it. I feel like I just want to try it. I trained for 3 months, did it, boom, had a good time, and stopped running. But you know, it's whatever.
All right. Well done.
You know what I'm saying? But I did it. I crossed off something off my bucket list that as a child, or I saw people doing, I was like, wonder what that would be like. So make your list and wonder what that would be like. Imagine a life for yourself. And I'm not talking about small, like imagine it big. You know, I'm going to do karaoke, you know, in when it get a little warmer. I don't do that cold weather. When it get a little warmer, I'm going to do karaoke. You know, I'm just going to do things. I bowl, you know, I want to go skiing. So what I'm saying is that there's a big world out there. There's a big world out there. And we shouldn't be limited by our mindset of what self-care is. Music is self-care. Art is self-care. It's just anything that you feel fruitful and that helps to restore you. So be creative. Start making that connection. I see all that music stuff back there, T. You know, that's self-care. And start using that with your kids, saying, hey, I'm about to take some self-care time and jam out. Oh, that's self-care. Yes, it is. So you start that verbiage of saying, hey, connect that. Girl, when you put on your makeup, that's a form of self-care and expression. You know, when your son is playing a video game, I don't know about all that, but you know, that's a little bit, but create pockets and say, hey, like, you know what, take this time to zone out, decompress, go on the game, enjoy yourself, but also teach them that there's boundaries to things. You get what I'm saying? So there's self-care, but there's also boundaries. It's okay to have, you know, a couple donuts, but anything in excess can be dangerous. So start making those connections to take care of yourselves and teach your kids and teach your loved ones to know that it's okay to care for ourselves. So I'll stay for a few minutes, like if there's any questions or any tidbits that you guys want to share before I go watch me some anime, which is my form of self-care, and have me a glass of wine.
What you watching?
Most important thing. Oh, well, real quick, just because I want to make sure before she gets a chance to really talk about what she does, because I know I mentioned one activity that we learned about you through, but I really wanted you to talk about all the things you do, because you're doing a lot of things. You deserve your accolades, your flowers, because you were really killing it. And I want to make sure you get a chance to plug what you're doing. Do you mind speaking on that? And I guess you have to also answer Q's question about the anime.
Yeah. Okay. So, I absolutely love anime. So some of the OGs, I am a big fan of the big three: Bleach, Naruto, also One Piece. Some of the newcomers, I love Attack on Titan. I love Demon Slayer. I love Goblin Slayer. I love Jujutsu Kaisen. Love that. Love Sword Art Online. Listen, I'm true to this. People are always shocked when I tell them
check out Gurren Lagann.
No, I haven't.
Look it up on Netflix. You're welcome.
On Netflix? Okay.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
There's also damn it. I have to get back to you on that one.
Wait, how do you spell that?
G.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Listen, I'm gonna have to report back, child, because I'm gonna have to see. Okay.
There's another one by I want to say it's that same studio. Yeah, I have to get back to you on it though. It's amazing.
Okay, no problem.
It's all about garments.
Oh, okay.
Fabric. But it's Violent.
What is that? Okay. Well, I will definitely. I just look. I have it pulled up. I'm for real about it.
That's a good one, though.
So,
It'll break your heart, but it's a good one.
It's a good one. Okay, good. That's my form of self-care. My husband watches Dexter and CSI and all that stuff. I jump into people's lives too much. I need to be taken to another world. I need to be transported. Okay, that's just me. But I'll just tell y'all a little bit about what I do. I'm always, you wouldn't know it, but like I get very like shy about talking about me, but a little bit about me. I am a therapist, and I am currently transitioning into being an entrepreneur. I've had the pleasure of working with Google several times for doing workshops for them. And so I've just been blessed. I'm gonna use my verbiage, but I've just been blessed because I haven't really sought out these opportunities. I'm also a therapist on the Vice Network TV show called In My Own World. And they've all found me for my YouTube channel. So I make YouTube videos about mental health, and now I'm transitioning to really just talking about wellness and self-care because I have a real passion for it. I love changing the definition of it. So in this interim, I'm not good with, a weakness of mine is marketing myself. I really would do everything that I do for free because I first went to therapy for free at 17, and it changed my world. And so I'm just not really good with like marketing myself. That comes secondary based off of what I love. So I'm working with a team now to really just say, hey, like, go this vision. So where I continue to do is like corporate workshops, and also just building my website with clients. And I am launching a self-care brand of t-shirts and hoodies. And one of my favorite ones is that I made is called like I Make Healing Look Good. So I think we all talk a lot about our problems, but I think it's something beautiful to see somebody who's healed. And so that is like what I do. So I have a self-care brand that I'm launching April 15th, crossing our fingers. And I am just building, honestly. I'm doing what I love to do. And I'm happy to be able to work on making it revenue. So that's what I do, in addition to the lost cats. So yeah, but I'll stay for a few minutes if anybody has any questions or anything that they're gonna try to implement into their life.
Okay. What's the best way that you want people to start finding you so that they can learn more about what you do? Oh, probably Instagram. I think probably Instagram is probably the easiest way to see me a lot more. And that's at Rashawnda James. And then on YouTube, I also like make videos about creating a self-care routine. And I'm coming back with like more content, just more geared for self-care. But I made like a lot of different things, mental health apps, self-care apps, talking about different things. But yeah, probably Instagram is probably the easiest way to connect with me. Perfect. Make sure there's a link in the video.
Yeah. That's probably the easiest way. So definitely DM me if you ever have any questions, if you want some validation, thank you, Rashid, for that, for putting my name. But if you want to DM me, or when you get that other anime, DM me. As if you guys ever want, like, if you're trying to have a conversation with somebody, or if you're trying to explain boundaries or trying to explain anything, like, just DM me and I'll just, try to be the plug to just, support in any way. Because I'm all for people, breaking generational curses and really just having these dialogues. So, and I'll definitely be game for checking in a couple months to see.
Yeah, we need a therapist. These guys we need a therapist. These guys are a bunch of nutcases.
Listen, we all are in just different ways. You catch me. I'm really not like an angry person. I'm really not. But like, you know, you catch a little bit, and you might be like, "Whoa!" I am very skilled in the art of breaking you down without one single cuss word. So just catch people on different days. We all have our struggles. Needless to say, we all have our struggles. I have a therapist on deck. Like I just hit her up like, listen, I need to talk to you, because it's just healing, it's restorative. And it's something that I'm hoping becomes the norm for our community instead of alcohol and drugs and sex. I'm not saying sex is bad, but I'm just saying that it shouldn't be used as like a distraction and a coping skill. You know what, Demond, you always trying to hold in these laughs, boy. I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to hold back.
Nah, I just got these. Nah, it just sound like nothing. But what did Lost Cat? What did the Lost
She's gonna
Cat
tell you use your communication words. That's not the words that you're supposed
use
to use.
your words, Demond.
Use my words. No, I mean, you said sex, drugs, and alcohol. That's like my Saturday night or tonight.
Right, he said
like
doing that right now.
Right.
It was super cool to have these conversations with you guys. You know, I hope that it was fruitful and helpful. I hope that I challenged in some ways and was able to really add value to the group. I'm wishing all of you well. Again, you can follow me on Instagram. That's where I am. You'll see the same. You might see a little bit more, you know, depending on how I'm feeling, you know. But, you know, I'm really hoping that you guys continue this conversation. When I do it next time, I'll probably ask my husband to be on. I think it'll be. I think it'll be. The whole time I was like, oh, I wonder if like, you know, Rudy would be game for this. So I'll ask him. I'll ask him.
This is usually just a hangout session. It's usually really, really informal and people just as free as they can be. And we're really trying to do a better job of delivering the message. So it may have been, sorry if it was a little clumsy tonight. We're kind of getting our sea legs, especially me. But I'd love it if you'd be willing to come back someday and really, you know, we can really help drive your message. And one last question I had for you, really, just to make sure we handle this is there something that we can do or the community can do to support what you're doing? Because I love what you're doing. Is there something we can do that can help you do more of what you do on a larger scale?
That's why I hired a marketing person.
Should we ask them?
Yeah, I asked them. I think that honestly, if you can just like on Instagram, and just share like my Instagram content and my YouTube content, and like when you share it, just tag people so that, you know, I can break this Instagram algorithm and really try to just get the exposure, you know. So I think that that's like one of the greatest things that anybody could do is really just share my content, share the messages that I'm working to put out there. I think there's a lot of messages that are floating, but I really try to stay aligned and I don't judge anybody, but you know, sometimes I think that the right message could do a lot more than just noise. You know, so I'm really trying to be clear about that. So if you guys could share it, tag people, have them share it, that would be totally amazing.
Okay.
Yeah,
and if there are any targeted messages that you'd like to send to an audience like one of ours, and you want to collaborate on creating a piece of content that we post and publish ourselves under the GRYSKLL name with Rashawnda's name on there to help advertise for you, just reach out. Anything we can do.
That'd be so awesome. And you know, I don't know if there's any clips that I said that sound good. Feel free. I'm trying to run it back. Like I be trying to run it back. Like, wait, you know, what did I say? Did I say something? You know, because I'm just not really good about it. If people know me one-on-one, then I'm good. But like, I need to do better with like telling my story, but I just don't be feeling like doing all that.
I just wanted to tell you, you have a couple of them. You have create awareness, That was good. You said self-care, change from something to saying self-care. Say it. You said say self-care. To T-Bear, you had a good one. You said the ugliness was inside so much that they had to go outside. I thought that was pretty crazy. So those are...
Oh, so you just ain't all about jokes and drinking and smoking and sex.
Exactly. Oh, wow. Thank you very much. Yeah, I got a whole lot going on here. So
about the sneak attack.
I'm very proud of you. Listen, I'm very proud of you. Well, you guys, I'm super thankful for this. I hope to come back. I know I'm gonna show up for Yani first, though.
Yes.
Yani got something she want me to show up for, so I'm gonna show up for that. But you guys, I'm super thankful. This really validates why I do what I do, and keep the message going. Keep going. Let me know if I can also support in any way. Black Power.
All right.
Yeah. You guys have a good night.
All right.
Thank you as well. All right.
Thank you again for
really appreciate
it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
bye,
you.
guys.
Good night.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.
All right.
Yeah. Thank y'all, fellas. Appreciate
All
y'all running that with me, man.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
No, that was I mean, it's kind of in some strange ways just reinforces a lot of what I think we think. So yeah, that was dope. Yanni, how you gonna skip? How you gonna skip?
Right out of here, right?
Broke out.
It was Yanni's turn now.
Hey.
Yeah, that was smooth.
I'll be right back.
That's all right. When we get her back on,
out of here like water.
When we get her back on, we gonna further explore the Missy Elliott versus Busta Rhymes.
Yo,
I got somebody in my corner.
If you go back and watch the video, you'll see I started to say something, and then I had to remember that I talked too much, so I let it go. But if you go back and watch the video, you will see I started to interject. Then I was like, I'm gonna just let it go. But I had that same thought, Bear. I had that same exact thought.
I was so glad it didn't happen. I was glad it kept going. I was like, yes.
I don't know.
I did this.
I was going.
Trying not to make that tangent.
Wait, they had a versus?
No.
Nah.
Oh.
T-Bear's advocating for them to go at each other, Missy and Busta, and there are a couple of us on the call who are adamant.
I co-signed it. Now I'm with T-Bear on that.
Because it's the energy.
I think
in the videos,
hee hee ha versus hoo ha. It's gonna be epic.
That's only one. Just okay.
Yeah.
Hey,
thank you.
Look, enjoy it.
I made it as simple as it. Well, actually, I'm not even going to do it next. I know, Bear, you probably gonna have to jump soon. I don't want to waste the time.
Yep, I'm getting ready to leave in a minute.
But I mean, how did y'all feel about doing this? I mean, do y'all feel like this is something like this with somebody different each time will work? Do you feel like inviting people back from time to time might be good? You want to wait and marinate on it?
I'll be. Go ahead, Bear. Go ahead.
Yeah. Let me go real quick. I mean, we still on the wait and see. Okay. I'm open to inviting somebody else,
Yeah.
But once we get, I think what happened here was smooth because we just talking and we just doing regular talking, and she had to cut it for a minute and go back to actually having a point, which was cool.
Yeah.
Because we was supposed to be kind of promoting her stuff because, we just fly off the handle and stuff, go from here to there. But, once we get somebody up in this chair and they too damn serious, then we ain't gonna be able to do this shit no more. not that the message won't be good, but I don't really. It's hard enough sitting through us jibber jabbering for 5 hours as it is.
Right.
She was cool. You got somebody that's real serious about it.
Yeah, we don't want that at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think we want some. I'd rather have somebody who's closer to the hip hop community, more closer to what we do in the long run with each person. So I don't want it to. I never want to get a stuffed shirt like a Bob Dylan with a tie and all that shit on it. Never nothing like that. I always wanted to be somebody like along the lines of like how Rashawnda is, somebody who's just more down to earth, more whatever, but really more about, like you said, it's about just trying to push those causes if they're helpful to our community. And maybe we do these as off episode things, like maybe these are something that just separated, released separately from our normal, bantery episodes, and we do drop them like once a month on the last Thursday or some shit like that. So just want to kind of stir ideas and see what kind of ideas come up. You had some thoughts?
Mm-hmm. Nah, yeah, I mean, so she reminds me a lot of the therapist I used to go to, because acknowledging that you're human and you don't have it all figured out, to me, is huge, right? Regardless of what your training and educational background is. Like I have first dude I went to was on some old, in my house, and I'm like, we're not gonna get nowhere, dog, because you're not, like, I'm not even buying what you're selling. So I think she was dope.
Yeah, very dope. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think we almost have to do another one to see if we got lucky or if we may be on to something.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I we just know she's dope as hell. She was very,
right.
Yeah. I don't know
but she got to come back now because she got to say how she feel about the anime that just got dropped off. We got to talk about Buster versus Missy. We got things to talk about, man.
Buster versus
don't get it. Well, she does drop her thing in April. Maybe we at least have her back one more time just to close loops. And this other group come out at the end of March, like we're talking, if they can make it out, and then we'll just make a call after that.
Yeah, I think that makes sense because I think we need that second one just to again kind of see if we got lucky. Yeah.
But I think, like you said, Sean, like connecting it with the GRYSKLL, this is like she's almost aiming at this demographic, our demographic. So maybe it's something where going forward, it could be, like you said, like a therapy Thursday. That Thursday can be once a month. I think she kind of, like you said,
marketing genius, dude.
You know what I'm saying? That'll help. That'll help her with her brand and probably give us some content in April and all that stuff going forward. So that can help.
Yeah.
Okay. I meant to ask her what is a good starting place for our people to hit when we get into a mental health challenge and we don't know where to turn. I forgot to ask that one. So maybe I'll try to ask her that afterwards. But maybe next time we can have some specific questions too. I don't know. I don't want to try to drive any direction for this shit.
I think what works for us is the fact that it's not formatted. I think the beauty of us is there is no real agenda. And I think that allows everybody to kind of shine through as they will. So, I'd be cautious about trying to structure something and losing
the organics,
the organic portion of it.
Yeah. I think that's the only way we win is by staying organic, man. I don't think if we get too structured with anything, I think that's when we start to lose.
Yeah.
All right, you want to lose the playoffs?
This is Seinfeld.
But anyway,
right.
All right, Bear, you about to say your thing?
Yeah, I got to address the elephant in the room.
Oh,
this was our very first. We had two firsts. We had the two females that decided to bless us on the show. And then we get not only do we get to see a full visual of Miss Yani, we get verbiage. She said something, contributed to the pod or the not pod, whatever we calling it this week.
the not so pod. Yeah.
Not so podcast.
We ain't that bad.
All right, we
only bite a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That was definitely good.
So I think they're expecting words.
I'm so.
I really wasn't, to be honest. But
nah, you ain't got to say nothing. You good. We appreciate you for showing up. You know, support, like Kareem say.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm finna get out though, y'all. So.
All right, Bear.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna have to get started early tonight. What? Yeah. I said I'm getting out of here a little early tonight too.
All right, good, man. It's a long night, man.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to everybody dropping now.
It works. I think we got to work on trying to do it more often anyway, man. So these things are easier to edit shit.
Yeah, I think we definitely got to get back to 11 at the latest. You know
yeah.
That 1:30 last week hurt the bull.
Yeah, I feel
still recovering from it.
It's still hurting me. Shit.
Right, y'all done took Q's eyes out. He stayed up so long, he didn't see no more.
Haven't recovered since. You see this?
Right.
Hey, Bear, what would be an ideal time to cut if it was up to you, man?
Shoot. Well, we already doing. So what are we doing? 7, 8, 9. So we already do what? 3 hours off top.
Yeah, we usually.
I'm like,
2 and 3.
Yeah. If we can cut it, man, because I kind of like what she was saying. It'd be 10:30 y'all time, so I'm cool with a hard stop at 10:30. Would it be 9:30 my time? But yeah, I'm cool with a hard stop there, or even if we bump it up to 9.
Yeah.
Well, still that's 10 y'all time, but yeah.
Yeah.
Even if we bump it up, do a hard stop there.
Okay. Well, and then, I mean, everybody else can keep rolling, but maybe we do a hard stop on the recording or what we plan to record. And then if anybody wants to just hang out after that, that's cool. But we just may not count that as content unless some jewel pops out there. Like last week, jewel popped out at like hour 5. Somebody asked about alter egos, and we all went into alter egos. So this is really dope shit that, like Q saying, it's stuff we can just put in the stash and dump those as little mini pieces later. I think that's what I want to do. I wanted to do, but it's just, we'll figure that out. I ain't gonna hold this back.
Yeah, but that's a lot. That's a lot you got to go through. I mean, if it's some way that we can all check it out before you post it. Like if we can all be like checking like. You start at 12 or whatever.
Yeah.
Hour 2 start checking.
I think the best thing we could do is as any one of us feels the topic starting to shift, just throw the time in so that it gives us a quick reference point to kind of jump to, and try to look at that as maybe a break point somewhere in that neighborhood for editing.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good idea.
I can send y'all, if y'all want to make it a practice, that I just send y'all the episode 24 hours before we get it out to the general public and everybody has a chance to review. If we say 2 days, I mean, what do y'all think is a reasonable amount of time? I know before we didn't really want to review, but I think we're going to whittle down. It probably would help if y'all review 1 or 2 episodes before we get going. Y'all don't have to answer tonight. We can answer this in Slack or something else if everybody's ready to shut down.
Yeah.
So I just got to make sure to make it easier to stop with my my super activist extremist side of things and try to stay a little bit more on topic, because I kind of went a little nuts last week with my
oh my God. Man, we all got episodes with that somewhere where we
I don't remember anything being so far left or right, man. Like unless I'm just forgetting something.
Honestly, I was just gonna let last week's episode be that, hey, you guys are really getting a chance to meet Q. So here's a 5-hour extravaganza. Eat that shit.
Right, because he didn't say much that first episode, but man,
he got it, and he got beats. You got reactions from y'all on the beats.
Yeah, that was a full cast.
Yeah, so it's a chance that it might still be a long ass episode, but it's all in the snippets, really, man. The snippets.
If there's anything that makes me look like I supported Bin Laden, though, like if there's anything that made me look like I supported Bin Laden or some shit, though, like
oh, that's right. Okay, so you were right. Yeah, I forgot about it because everybody out is gonna see this. Okay, I see what you're saying. So,
what did he say? Like I really don't remember.
He ain't say nothing bad. I ain't hear nothing bad, but I still got about 30 more minutes to go.
Nah, I just went on my angry black man rant. Is all.
Man,
wasn't that the episode where we was talking about kind of like community and being pockets versus all or none?
I think we talked about every subject under the sun. 5 hours.
Yeah, we really did though. We really did.
We did. We covered a lot.
I think you're right.
So I had a little bit of liquor in me. So I don't know like all the things that I said. So that's why I'm saying like if there was anything that made me seem over the top extremist, because I know I can tend to go that direction sometimes. So I don't know if I actually did.
You'll get a chance to review the joint beforehand, man. I'll make sure that there's at least a 24-hour period or however long y'all tell me y'all want before we drop it, man.
Yeah.
And selfishly speaking, it'd be nice to have somebody just as crazy as I am with this.
He gonna cut everything except for when Q start talking.
Right.
I'm usually the voice of the outside. So yeah, it'd be nice to have somebody on my team.
Oh my God.
Man,
anyway, let me get out of here because she's starting up.
All good, man.
All right.
Peace, Mrs. Ben. Peace, everybody.
All right, yes, sir.
All right.
Peace, my people. It's your boy, the most fabulous T-Bear 183, coming at you with that replay value, bringing you the dope joints that deserve to stay in rotation, whether it's in the CD player, whether you got the MP3s and it's on your phone, whether you got the records or whatever, y'all need to listen to it, not so much on repeat, but you go back to it often. That's what we on. This week, we got, boom, Resurrection by your man Common. They go Common Sense. This joint here, Common's second album, a little bit different from the first. This is one of those, well, first of all, this is like the premiere, the epitome of the Chicago album. You got Common Sense, you got No ID on production. Is it a Doug Infinite joint on here? I think everything is No ID. So No ID did the whole production on this one. He went into his bag, he pulled out dope jazz samples, pulled out soul samples. You got a little bit more grown up Common on the rhymes. He's not so much gimmicky. He coming at you. Man, the flows is brilliant. He doing his thing. Most standout joints that everybody noticed on this one. I Used to Love Her. Common's basic love song to hip hop. So that's what this joint is known for. But there's other joints on here. First off, Resurrection. The original Resurrection is dope. Now, if you get your hands on, which ain't hard, all y'all gonna do is get your Google fingers together, find the Large Professor remix and the Extra P remix. It's still Large Professor, but it's two different remixes he did. Those are crazy, and it just goes on and on, and this is, then there's Communism. The song Communism, the second verse, he starts every rhyme with calm. Like every word starts with calm. I ain't even gonna go through all of them because you need to listen to it if you haven't already. You got and this is like it's almost like a coming of age. People like saying that term, but you hear my man growing up. You hear him talking about other things. You hear him talking about, hanging out with his guys. You hear him talking about, trying to get a job or not being motivated to do work. You hear him talking about like real life shit that was happening to people in their early 20s or early 20 years of age, not 1920s, because this is early 90s album, but still, you hear him talking about that stuff. And I think this is the first album that had Pop's rap on there, which is basically he got his pops to come into the studio and just talk. You know, I can't quite remember everything he was talking about on this one, but you know, give you little life tidbits, talk about how it was with him growing up, you know, and he just speaking, you know. It's good to hear stuff from the older cats, man. We like to dismiss the older generation all the time, but they got knowledge in there, they got wisdom, they got stuff to say, and we need to listen to it, man. So Pop's rap is dope. This whole album is dope. This is another, it's an end-to-end burner. It's a playthrough. You put it on, track one, the track whatever, you're gonna be good with this one. You're gonna be good with this one. This is a dope album, man. And you know, I wish he did all of them like this one. It is what it is. But another one, you have to own this one. You can still find these. If you want the wax, you can still find it on the wax. This one ain't even that expensive because they only did it's only the single vinyl. It's not a double. So, but you can still find it. About $20, maybe even cheaper than that. You know, won't fail you. If you got the CD, I got the CD too somewhere over there. So CD, tape, I might have had it on all three mediums now that I'm thinking about it. You know, but yeah, this that album. It's just that good. This one stayed on repeat. This one, just like some of the Root stuff, just like some of the Outkast stuff, just stayed in the CD changer. I never pulled them out. You know, this is a daily listen to. Never really get tired of it. I could be biased because I'm from Chicago, but it is what it is. But I highly recommend this one, man. Y'all need to go out here and find this one here and own it. All right, until next time, my people.